I know the pitcher's mid-throwing thing. Yeah, the slow throw. What about it? Or do you just want me to show that? Because, I mean, I know about that. That's been posted a couple times. Walking does the exact same thing. What do you mean? Or do you mean just, like, you move slower? I guess I could show this just for anyone who wants to see it. And not online. We're going to do local co-op. So let's get our victim Rafi here. Could probably just do it in the camp. Alright, pitcher's miss. So let me remember what Rafi's controls are. Okay, he's controlled with G, H, J, and Y for move. And his walk button is... I don't know what his walk button is. I gotta check. I've got two, like, characters, one keyboard going on here, so it takes me a second to figure this out every time I have to do this. Okay, his walk run is right shift. Really, I tried that. It didn't work. You don't even... Oh, you're saying it... You just get a slow throw that doesn't have mitt physics? Well, we'll try it without it in a moment here. Movement default walk. What do you mean? That is obviously not what's going on here. Or maybe it... I don't know, maybe I changed this at some point. Let's try that. Right shift. This, instead of left shift is what I use for my normal character. Alright, so you go over there. Alright, so normally this is what this would look like. You just... Actually, wait, why is he not... You know, let's go into a level just in case something is interfering with this. Alright, so with the mitt... Oh, God mode, that's the other thing. He can't be stunned, that's why he's not throwing. There we go. Okay, so this is what this would normally look like in co-op. Now, I think... Let's try a few things. So, Rafi is holding right. No, he's holding whip. There. That's jump. Why are they... J. J is right. Okay, Rafi's holding right. It's J. So if I throw him, let's see what happens here. Yeah, he has like a slightly weirder slow throw. Now let's see, I forget what happens. If he holds left, so if we have him hold G, he faces left, but he still gets the weird slow throw. I don't remember off the top of my head. What are all like the things you could do with this? Like if he holds walk, does he move even slower during the slow throw? Let's try that. So if he's holding walk, yeah, there you go. If Rafi's holding walk and right, and you get like this ultra weird like slow throw. Let me make a little bit more room to mess around with here. And I think it has something to do with the game just inheriting like the first frame of his movement before it gives him the mitt physics. So it just kind of like takes his speed. So we can actually check what velocity he has when we do this. So let me open this up real quick. Lock to player 1, Rafi should be... There we go, he's a few players earlier than that. For some reason, later players have a lower entity ID. This is why Olmec targets player 4, not player 1, for anyone who's wondering. Because for some reason, they're in reverse order. They spawn, like, from the, like, player 4 back to player 1 in that order. I don't know why they do that. Nothing in this game makes any sense. Anyways, we can detach this and look at his position to see what his speed is. Alright, so the normal mitt throw. 0.33, which is probably just mitt speed. But if we set frame advance here, have Rafi hold right. I have to hold so many buttons on my keyboard to do this. And then throw him. So he inherited that speed instead. But then he got clamped anyways. That doesn't look any different actually. Or do I need him to... I think I need him to hold it for 2 frames, I think. Let's see if it's one of those situations. So Rafi's holding right. I'm going to throw. There we go. Yeah, the second frame is the one where he got it. This is player running speed right here. Like, again, it's about 1/7 of a tile per frame. So Rafi is moving at player running speed right now. In fact, I could show that by just, like, following him. So let me spawn some border tiles real quick to stand on. Get rid of this one. Alright, come here, buddy. Alright, so if I throw Rafi and then start walking... In fact, I could just do this without frame advance. He's at the same exact speed as the player, as you can see there. And then I bet with walking, it's going to be half of that. So let's try that. Frame advance. So Rafi is holding right and walk. And we throw him. Wait a couple frames, and then I'm going to start walking with him. Yeah, there you go. You see it? So he's at walking speed now instead. So that's why that happens. For some reason, like a couple frames after the mid throw, it just inherits like his movement speed if he's holding any inputs down. So that's how you get the weird like slow throw jank. So we can do that one as well. If I have to hold down a lot of buttons for this. Let's see. Ruffy's got to be holding. I am clawing my keyboard in like the most uncomfortable way. There we go. You just hail him. So strange. There's just more like physics jank. Hey buddy, how you doing? Oh. Oh, you hate to see it. I was still holding right for Rafi, so when he got up, he just ran into the spikes. What a doofus. I can get a new one. Let's see, what are the flags for that? I can just reset the level, but I kind of like this layout. I don't remember what the flag is to make that a player coffin, so just give me a second here. There might be another way to respawn, but I don't know what it is. So this is the way I know. Player respawn, that's the boolean. Hey, he's back. Alright, so you're saying that without the mitt, that still happens in some form or another? You get like a weird, like, slow throw or something? Okay, let's try that. So, remove power up. Alright, so I no longer have the mitt. You can see it's gone from the HUD now, so first, the base trial, just throw him, and that's what happens. Let's have him holding right now and see what throw we get instead. Yeah, it's a little bit more, like, flaccid. He doesn't go as far. Let's check his horizontal velocity while I do that. So, do that. I'm still attached to the body. I need to switch this entity. It's not, it's tracking the corpse in the spikes over there. Can't delete it. Interesting. I wonder why nothing weird has happened yet. I guess technically there's no reason why you can't do this. That game isn't tracking that anymore. Doesn't care about that body. Alright, here's what we need. So let's look at his position. Alright, let's check what his velocity is. I bet it's the same exact thing though. It probably just gets locked to his walking speed. Alright, so he's holding right. I throw him. Yeah, you see his velocity there. That's just normal walking speed again, 0.145. So you get like a really weak throw, which, I mean, in theory could be useful in co-op if you need someone to go like a specific distance. And then I bet if he's walking, it's the same thing. It's gonna get cut in half. So frame advance, hold right, and walk, and throw. And just claw my keyboard, there we go. Yep, see, he has half that speed now. Going across that one juggle subroom. Yeah, it could theoretically be useful if you need to do like a short throw on a player. So like while the walking one isn't terribly useful, something I'm thinking of is what if you needed to like throw a player up like a 4-tile wall or something. So here's a situation where you don't want them to like overshoot it. What if you had like this layout? I wonder how this would work. No ladder either. So frame advance, I'm gonna jump. I have a high jumping speed. Now if Rafi is holding right and I throw him, I wonder, and while I'm also holding up, I wonder what speed he's going to get. So let's try that. Break my hands doing this. Yeah, so he has high upward velocity, but he has walking speed. That said, that's not enough height to get him up there. So we would have to do uppies, which doesn't really help that much. And momentum doesn't transfer to player. Okay, so it wasn't a momentum gain. You want to throw at the peak of the jump. Okay, let's try that. And then I'll throw him. This is like for the hypothetical 4-tile wall, because I've done this before on stream, but it is not possible to do uppies for 4 tiles with only 2 people. It's impossible. You need spring shoes, you need 3 players. This is not enough height. Like, even if I do this frame perfectly, so if I jump up to the peak of my jump, and then we have Rafi jump out of my hands, I think that's K. He gets this high, but doesn't quite make it. He can't ledge hang from that. I tried this like frame perfectly. So it's not possible. If you have an idiot friend who keeps telling you, no, we can do it, just keep trying. No, your friend's an idiot. It's not possible. However, we're seeing if there's a way to throw a player up there. And I think there is if you have enough distance, and I wonder if maybe you can get like a short throw that makes it easier to do this in a tight space. That's kind of what I'm looking into here. So if I'm at the peak of my jump and I throw him, you can get him up that ledge. But he's going to go all the way over here, and if you don't want that, I wonder if you can get him to hold right. And that's what I'm going to try now, so let's attempt that. I'm at about the peak of my jump, not terribly precise. I'm going to hold up, and Rafi is going to hold right, and then I'm going to throw him. And we're going to see what happens here. Yep, and there you go. So that's a short throw. He landed here instead of bumping into this wall. I think in theory, you could also do this with the really short one. If you're in like a super tight space and you want him to just go up. So yeah, we're going to try the walking speed version. So let's do a lineup just to see how straightforward this is. So right here, let me turn God mode on because it doesn't matter. If I do it from right here, is this like a lineup to get Rafi to land here? Because this would actually be really useful for like shitty Neobab levels where you don't want to overshoot. So maybe there's some tech here. So frame advance, jump. We're at the peak of the jump pretty much. So I'm holding up, Rafi is holding walk and right. And then I throw him. Why is nothing happening? I might be holding too many buttons on my keyboard. Oh boy. Hold on a second here. Let's see if I can do these in a different order. I don't know if I could actually do this input if I'm ghosting keys on my keyboard. So let's see. We hold up. We hold throw. Right shift. Oh, this is awful. My God. I can't actually do this input, chat. Okay, I'm going to change walkie to walk. I'm going to change Rafi to default to walk. I actually can't do this input. I think there's too many buttons that I have to press to do this. My keyboard is not like letting me press the frame advance button. I don't know why that's still a problem keyboards have in this day and age. So I'll send him back to walk. So now I don't have to press a modifier key. Let's see if we can get him to do it now. Alright, so jump. Alright, we're at the peak of the jump, and let's go ahead and hold up. Rafi's right, he's walking by default, we throw him. Let's see what we get. Okay, so he's gonna bonk the wall if we do it from there, so let's try a different lineup. Let's try right here, roughly between these two tiles. So jump. Peak of the jump, Rafi's gonna hold right. I'm holding up and throw. Well, that's not going to make it, is it? No, he's still going to bonk on that. Definitely got enough height, though. So let's try it from the center of the third tile. That might be the lineup. So right there. I'm perfectly centered on the third tile, so jump. Alright, we're at the peak. Pretty much a little past it, but I don't think it's that precise. So hold up. Rafi holds right. Throw. Oh, there we go. He just barely made it. So, like, that's as close as you can get, really. Like, if your jump is a little bit cleaner. Now, interestingly enough, oh, you're right. He has running speed. Okay, hold on a second. What are you doing, Rafi? Is this an auto? Is auto walk not working? Oh, fucking hell. Alright, hold on. I can probably fix this. Is this just a thing that... Is it just like inheriting it from player 1? Is that what's going on here? Is it inheriting player 1's auto walk setting on the keyboard? Because this game was written by people who do not know how to test anything. It only happens with auto run players, really. Okay, hold on a second. Well, no, there's a problem here. Rafi is supposed to be auto-walking, but he's not doing that. Or is that... Wait, why is this player 1? Hold on, did I set it on the wrong one? Hold on a second here. Player 2. Movement default walk. Player 1, run. Okay, so these are the settings that we want. It could have something to do. Certified cosine. Look, I have literally had the game change my auto walk setting for the wrong character before. I don't think this is a cosine moment. This is a Spelunky moment. Now it worked. I've had this happen before. I've done walk percent in co-op where I changed the auto walk setting and backed out, and when I went back in, it was wrong. Like, the game didn't actually save it, so there's something wrong with that setting. I'm running, Rafi's walking. Okay, so let's try it again from the original spot. So right here. Frame advance, jump into the air. Alright, and throw Rafi up and to the right. Let's go. There we go. That's the speed we're looking for. He just makes it, so like the center of the second tile. Okay, good. At least it wasn't inheriting player ones. You can get him to land right there. So yeah, this is a thing you could do. And I think you could probably get him to land on this tile. So if you had like a single post that you wanted Rafi to land on, I think you could actually do that. This is good tech, I think, for co-op. So the spot to do that would, I think, be the boundary between tiles. Yeah, these two tiles right here, I think, would be the spot to do that. So you just kind of visually eyeball it. Probably go back a little bit and then just see if we can get this. Yeah, thank you for the hydrate. I do need to do that. All right, peak of the jump. And all Rafi has to do in this situation is just hold walk and right. So like there's no timing for player 2 other than player 2 needs to let go of their inputs before they unstun. Turn off God mode, yeah sure, okay. So God mode's off, I'm holding up, Rafi's holding right, he's walking by default, and we throw him. And as long as Rafi lets go of his buttons, yeah, you just land right on top of that. So there's your visual. It's just between these two tiles right here, and it seems fairly lenient. And you can get him right up on this ledge, just like this. So this is actually some really useful co-op tech, I think. You can get up 4 tiles. It's essentially 4 tile uppies that doesn't suck. Can I get a clip of this in real time? You ask a lot of me. Do you have any idea what combination of buttons I have to press to do this? But alright, I'll give it a shot. Alright, so let's see here. So I'm gonna have to jump. I can hold up while I jump, so it's gonna be hold up. I'm gonna have Rafi hold right the whole time. This actually shouldn't be too bad. I should be able to do this. So, let's see, we're gonna hold jump, and then at the peak of the jump I throw Rafi and then release all the buttons. Oh, well, there you go. First try. Easy. Wasn't worried for a second. So align yourself between these two tiles. Hold up. Have Rafi hold right. Then I'm going to jump, and at the peak of my jump, I'm going to throw Rafi and then let go of my controls. It's actually not that difficult to do it. Well, there's 2 of them. You can get that in 1 clip, I think. That should be under 60 seconds. God, that's huge. That could be really useful. Like, there's a lot of situations, I think, in like loco runs where this could be helpful, because now you can get somebody up a 4-tile jump pretty consistently. Like, very low risk as well, because if you scuff it, they just fall back down like in front of you, and you could try it again. So I think, like, for instance, if I do the version that doesn't make it from like over here, let's see what that would look like. I'll do this one in slow motion just so that we can see it a little bit more. So the peak of the jump, I would hold up, throw, Rafi's holding right. And if you miss, he's going to just fall back down in front of you. So as long as you have like a floor there, it's completely safe. So you want to not overshoot it if there's something bad on this side over here. And then if you're too close to the wall, like right here, I think he'll just bonk and land roughly where you're standing. So again, frame advance, peak of the jump, hold up, Rafi's holding right, I'm throwing him. And he just lands right where you are. And since you have ownership over him, you don't take a stun. So the question is, can you get out of a 2x4 pit? Like, I guess that's why you've gotten the clip there. Let's actually try it with a 2x4 pit. So you would back yourself up into the wall like this, and let's see if we can get this one to work. So you should be able to, I think, because the center of this tile works, but let's just confirm that. So peak of the jump. All right, we're at the top. I'm holding up, Rafi's holding right, throw him. And yep, you're out. It's a little bit gross. Like he kind of goes close to the edge, but yep, you're out. So let's do that one in real time if you want to make a clip of that as well. So tuck myself into the corner, pick him up. I'm holding up. Rafi's holding right. I'm going to jump and throw him at the peak of my jump. And he's out. So you can escape the 2x4 baby jail with this tech in co-op by throwing one of the players out of the pit. No resources, fairly low risk. I've been able to do this pretty consistently in real time, so you don't really need like frame perfect tricks to do it. I don't know how precise exactly it is, but it seems to be good enough. I think what else you can do here. I know there's some like bouncing tech that you could do with players, but I'm not sure how exactly. Yeah, you could do stuff like this, but like I feel like this is almost more useful if you don't have a wall, because this is a thing you can already do that I've known about, is you could bounce a player off a wall to get them out of a pit. So this tech is actually useful if you don't have a wall to bounce the player off of, and you don't want to huck them into the spikes on the other side like I would have done there potentially. So this is just like a safe way to ascend a wall without having to worry about the player getting thrown too far. So it's between these two tiles. I'm holding up, Rafi's holding right, and Rafi's holding walk, I guess, just to clarify. If he's running, he'll go a little bit further. So there, that should be enough material for your clip. In fact, I don't know if that's obvious in the clip. Do you want to make a better clip before you send it to anyone? Let's make a better one where I explain that Rafi is walking in this situation. So let's get a little more material for that. Already sent? Oh, well. Please put a note somewhere saying that Rafi has to be walking then. You want a better clip? Alright, well, let's make a better one then. Alright, so to get him up here, we're going to align ourselves between these two tiles, pretty much dead center. It's not super precise. So Tina is holding up. Rafi is holding right, and Rafi is walking. I'm going to jump, and at the peak of my jump, I'm going to throw Rafi, and then Rafi is going to let go of his controls before he unstuns. And there you go. Nice and safe on top of this one block. So there's your clip. Do what you will with that information. It does explain it? Okay, well you have plenty of material to work with. So this is actually really cool then. We found something that's, I think, going to be really useful for Loco because of, again, like awful layouts like this. I've seen, there's that one Neobab room that has this kind of layout as well that you might be able to do this in. So this has applications for sure. For people that are big enough lunatics to need to do this. So it's just a better version of Uppies. You could probably actually get some interesting jumps from this, like just high ceiling jumps. You can always go to the VOD, by the way, if you want to get better clips. Like, it's possible to go to the VOD. Now, for something like this, you could definitely just do a long jump, but if you don't have room to work with, it's also helpful. Like, I don't have a wall to deflect Rafi off of, so I could do it from here as well, for instance. Simple stuff like this. It's just, you need to be 2 tiles away from this wall, centered between them. And I should be able to huck him up here to get this sapphire. Like, pretend this isn't here, so there's like no way to make this jump. So I'm not doing this one as like clip material, so I'm not really explaining what's going on. But yeah, you can just toss a player up there. So this is actually really cool. I could definitely see this being useful. Yeah, God mode's not affecting any of this. Bat, go away. Stop. I wonder what other, like, common level generation has this problem, where this could be of value. It's weird, like, even though technically God mode is on, he still has, like, the throwing state. He just isn't stunned. So yeah, it's definitely, like, more accurate to do it without God mode on, but I should be able to just go over here without God on, and the same thing would happen, so I'll turn it off just to be sure. So right there, hold up, Rafi's holding right. Yeah, it's exactly the same. So God mode didn't affect any of those demos I did. Let's turn that back on. But yeah, it's there's some neat tech. Any other thoughts on how to things to look into, stuff you want to see me do while I have Rafi here? This could definitely have applications in Loco. Like, you get CO runs all the time where you're going to be stuck in a 4-tile jump with no way to get a player up there other than to just throw them and hope they survive. And now we have just a super safe way to do that instead. Including gross stuff like this, actually. Oh boy. I think if you did this from the correct spot, you might be able to actually do this. This would be scary though. This is extremely scary to do something like this, but I think in theory you could huck him up here if you do it right. I don't think I can do this with one keyboard. I'm thinking what buttons I have to press. Rafi's got to hold left. I have to hold up. Oh, never mind. I got it. I died in the process, but I did get Rafi up there. I mean, technically I could survive this. Let's see if we survive. Let me turn off God mode. Nope, I died. Yeah, in theory you could survive that, but that's very confusing to control because I need to basically control 2 characters while I do this. But yeah, you could stay in the loop while Rafi played the level. There were definitely like viable ways to get around that, but I mean that's kind of the proof of concept to it. You could just get people up 4 tiles instead of 3. It's just a little bit harder to do it, but not like frame perfect or anything.